With regard to the matrimonial consent, the first canon 1095 speaks about consensual incapacity in 3 numbers. First one is lack of sufficient use of reason. The first point. Lack of sufficient use of reason. We know that already the person begins to have use of reason on completion of 7. But for marriage, you need a little more use of reason. So somebody who is completely mad, he lacks the use of reason, completely lacks the use of reason. So, number 1, sufficient use of reason. The second paragraph I said, quite a number of marriages are declared invalid. So, here I elaborately describe to you what it means to lack due discretion of judgment. So, Canon 2 says, those who suffer from a grave lack of discretion of judgment. Discretion of judgment. Concerning what? Concerning the essential rights and obligations to be mutually given and accepted. So, mutual rights and obligations are there in every marriage. Mutual rights and obligations. You know the obligations. Obligations to work for the mutual well-being, upbringing of the children, procreation of the children. Then obligation of fidelity, obligation of unity, indissolubility. It is a partnership of the whole of life. Regarding this, I did not know all this. I lacked due discretion of judgment. I did not evaluate. I simply went through it. If it were to be proved, the marriage will be invalid. And the third point is there. Those who, because of causes of psychological nature, are unable to assume the essential obligations of marriage. So, because of psychological nature, in this will come even alcoholics or some others who are given to some type of compulsive behavior because of somatic reasons. All that would come under Canon 3, number 3. Number 3 of this canon. This is called consensual incapacity. The first number is clear, absolutely clear, because the person has no use of reason, no sufficient use of reason. Second and third number, second one is lack of due discretion of judgment. Third one is inability to assume the obligations because of psychological nature. Inability to assume the obligations. So we go to the next canon 1096, the minimum knowledge that is necessary. The canon says the parties must know that it is a permanent partnership and it is meant for procreation of children. Third, that there is sex involved. 3 points are mentioned in 1096. Minimum knowledge necessary. Minimum knowledge is necessary. Marriage is a permanent partnership. It is for the procreation of children. And also there is some kind of sexual cooperation involved. Para 2 makes a statement that this knowledge is presumed when one reaches puberty. When one reaches puberty, especially they know that sex is involved. 1097 speaks about how error vitiates consent. Error of person, we know. I cited the example of Leah and her sister. Leah and Rachel. So it is error of person. Canonically it is invalid marriage. Second is error of quality. So when does error of quality makes a marriage invalid? Because of defect of consent. It says when that quality is directly and principally intended. When that quality is directly and principally intended. 1097. And then 1098. Impediment, 1098 speaks about how consent is affected because of deceit. Deceit. The canon says not any deceit. It speaks about a deceit that is perpetrated to obtain the consent. Secondly, the deceit is concerning an important quality which can seriously disrupt the conjugal life. An important quality which can disrupt the conjugal life. So you have to comment on error and also deceit. First knowledge, error, deceit. Then the next one is error concerning unity or indissolubility. 1099. Error concerning unity or indissolubility. Then 1100, knowledge or opinion about nullity of the marriage. Knowledge or opinion. All these do not invalidate the marriage. But with regard to 1099, we said if it determines the will, then it will invalidate the consent and naturally the marriage. 1101, conditional consent. 1101 on conditional consent. What are the situations in which marriage is invalidated? 1102, simulation. And 1103, force and fear. So up to 1103 you have to comment. This is an important canon. So you have to write about it, and in a nutshell you write in 2 pages factors that invalidate the matrimonial consent. Factors that invalidate the matrimonial consent. So sometimes if you omit one word, then it may be wrong. So see to it. So this is very important because one of the essential factors. Later on marriage will be attacked on the validity. Just omit if you don't know about 1104 and 1105, no problem. But 1095 to 1103 is very important. 1095 to 1103, very important. Know in a nutshell what are the factors. Now switch off, then